This video focuses heavily on the profound, long-term psychological impact of poor leadership habits within the modern corporate hierarchy. It deeply explains how negative, uncalibrated emotional environments slowly, silently, and systematically reduce overall team performance and operational velocity over extended periods. Management often ignores the subtle warning signs of cultural decay, assuming that surface-level compliance means everything is functioning smoothly. However, the internal reality is that a toxic or unstable atmosphere acts as a quiet tax on every project, draining the creative energy of your top talent. The comprehensive script thoroughly explores complex communication patterns, chronic emotional inconsistency, and the subtle shifts in leadership energy that directly shape daily workplace dynamics. When a manager fails to regulate their own internal state, their volatility creates a high-stress workspace where employees are constantly forced to operate in defensive survival modes. It uncovers the hidden mechanisms of how erratic behaviors from executives systematically compromise employee engagement, completely paralyzing internal feedback loops and halting critical data sharing across departments. Highly realistic and deeply relatable workplace examples help viewers clearly understand hidden morale problems that typically remain completely unnoticed until they inevitably explode into costly corporate crises. These familiar scenarios perfectly illustrate the compounding damage caused by leadership instability, lack of emotional self-control, and the systemic avoidance of uncomfortable conversations. Viewers will examine their daily workplace interactions and clearly see how mutual trust is broken gradually through minor daily actions rather than overnight. Furthermore, the insightful content teaches highly practical, sophisticated methods designed to successfully build and sustain unbreakable emotional stability inside modern high-pressure teams. Transforming a volatile department into a collaborative powerhouse requires a highly disciplined, structured approach from management. The overarching tone remains exceptionally serious, deeply human, and highly practical throughout the entire presentation, ensuring that both experienced senior executives and junior specialists can easily recognize these common behavioral patterns from experience. Viewers should feel a strong emotional connection to the realistic corporate situations described, recognizing the hidden interpersonal currents that either uplift or destroy a team. The impactful ending strongly reinforces the absolute, non-negotiable importance of consistent emotional leadership awareness in maintaining motivation long-term. Authentic, predictable presence is the definitive cornerstone upon which all high-performing, resilient corporate cultures are built and protected against external operational pressures. Exceptional leaders understand that emotional stability is a critical source of organizational strength and true strategic advantage. They treat every single workplace interaction as a valuable opportunity to reinforce psychological safety, ensuring that their language, body language, and reactions remain completely calm and constructive under intense pressure. When a high-stakes corporate project experiences a sudden setback, these disciplined executives completely suppress their defensive ego and approach the operational failure with a deeply analytical mindset. They demonstrate to the entire room that maintaining a secure, supportive environment for open problem-solving always remains infinitely more important than venting short-term personal frustration. To build this level of profound professional trust, you must first master the art of establishing unbreakable emotional safety within your daily operations. Safety is the collective belief that the workspace remains secure for interpersonal risk-taking, where no professional will ever be marginalized for sharing an unorthodox perspective. When your people know without a doubt that their honesty will never be met with defense, sarcasm, or administrative punishment, they naturally bring their most creative breakthrough ideas forward. They take ownership of their roles because they know their boundaries are fully respected. The biggest obstacle to achieving this vital consistency is always the leader's uncalibrated ego, which constantly misinterprets an objective critique of a plan as a direct attack on competence. An elite leader, however, has learned to deliberately decouple their personal identity from their business ideas, viewing every dissenting opinion as an act of dedicated service to the mission. They send an exceptionally transparent message to the entire hierarchy. My personal comfort is never the priority. Achieving the absolute best strategic result for this enterprise is the only thing. If you have unfortunately damaged trust through previous emotional outbursts, rebuilding credibility requires immense personal discipline. The recovery process begins with a formal, completely sincere public apology to your team, where you explicitly acknowledge your inappropriate behavior without making weak excuses or deflecting responsibility. Vulnerability from an executive never diminishes official authority. Instead, it dramatically increases respect by proving that the manager is self-aware and fully committed to truth. Following the apology, you must implement a rigorous framework of predictable behavior, showing up every single day with the same calm demeanor. Consistency must be maintained across all communication channels, ensuring that your strategic expectations, individual metrics, and feedback loops remain perfectly aligned and completely free from confusing, erratic ambiguity. Furthermore, consider establishing formal, highly structured micro check-ins with your direct reports to systematically eliminate conversational friction and proactively uncover hidden bottlenecks before they expand into major corporate roadblocks. Keep these daily touchpoints incredibly sharp, highly actionable, and entirely focused on removing bureaucratic obstacles. By proving through repeated daily actions that you are a reliable, emotionally stable resource, you will slowly but surely restore the psychological safety required for world-class collaboration and sustainable growth. High-performing individuals are naturally drawn to predictable leadership because it provides a secure foundation to take bold, calculated, creative risks and maximize their professional impact within the competitive global industry. When you invest heavily in your team's emotional security, the strategic returns are compounding. This dedicated investment results in drastically reduced employee turnover rates, elevated workplace morale, and an accelerated velocity of overall project execution. Our vital takeaway for viewers is that legendary corporate cultures are never built through grand declarations, but through the quiet, relentless repetition of positive, emotionally intelligent microactions executed every single day. So, during your very next high-stakes briefing, pay exceptionally close attention to your immediate internal reactions the moment a crisis is presented. Consciously choose to respond with genuine, deep curiosity rather than defensive anger, and actively invite the room to collaboratively dissect the data and engineer a robust, long-term solution. Watch how rapidly the internal energy shifts from heavy tension and fear to highly motivated, creative collaboration, transforming your workspace into an unstoppable powerhouse of collective intelligence and mutual professional respect. In conclusion, mastering your daily behavioral patterns will completely revolutionize your management style. This discipline mastery yields massive breakthroughs in team loyalty, organizational resilience, and overall business metrics over an extended period. Your ultimate takeaway, Padre, is that true leadership influence is multiplied only when it is shared through humility, unwavering behavioral consistency, and an absolute commitment to protecting your people's psychological safety. Commit to this disciplined approach starting right now, trading short-term emotional reactions for the long-term security of a future-proof team.